This is Sportscentre.
Hey, I'm Luca Celebre, and this is Digital Sportscentre presented by Montana's Barbecue and Bar. And after last night's slate of games, we finally got some clarity on what round one's matchups are going to look like. The main headliner from last night, for the 7th time in franchise history, the Leafs have won their division. Their reward is going up against the team that gave them the most trouble this season, the Ottawa Senators. The Sens were one of 2 teams to beat the Leafs 3 times this year, and the only Eastern Conference team that Toronto didn't even pick up a single point against. So this matchup could be closer than some people might expect. Staying in the Atlantic, the 2-3 is going to be another edition of the Battle of Florida. These in-state rivals will face off for the 4th time in 5 seasons. And interestingly, the winner of this matchup has made it to the Stanley Cup final every time, and in 2 of those years went on to win the Cup. Out west, we've got the President's Trophy winning Winnipeg Jets taking on the St. Louis Blues, and similar to the Leafs, this doesn't feel like much of a reward, as the Blues won 13 of their last 16 games to secure a playoff spot, and are one of the hottest teams in hockey. And if this story sounds familiar, that's because it is. It's almost exactly what happened back in 2019. That year, the Blues were in last place in December, but after getting hot down the stretch, were able to get into the playoffs. And their first round opponent, the Winnipeg Jets, who they beat in 6 games. And last but not least, we've got Vegas taking on Minnesota, which puts Marc-Andre Fleury against his former team in his final season. In his 4 seasons with the Golden Knights, Fleury only added to his reputation of being a big game performer, especially in 2018 when he led them all the way to the Stanley Cup final. But while he's done well playing for the Knights, he's actually struggled against them. So if Minnesota's going to pull off the upset, they've got a much better shot doing it with Fleury on the bench and Gustafsson starting, which we imagine will be the case. Everyone's really excited for the first round. It's always great. I think that we're talking ourselves into the same matchups being like fresh in a way where it's like, oh, we get Oilers in LA for the 4th straight year and Tampa and Florida for the 4th time in 5 years. Like, cry me a river. I don't like this anymore. I don't like it. I just want fresh matchups. I'm done with the kind of rivalry things. Too many good teams are bowing out in the first round because of this flawed playoff system. So I'm excited. It's going to be great, but give me a different playoff format. There's still one more Stanley Cup playoff spot up for grabs, and that's the final wildcard spot in the East. The Habs hold it currently, but they've had multiple opportunities to lock it up over the last few days. But with their shootout loss to the Blackhawks and Columbus's win over the Flyers, it all comes down to Game 82. The good news for the Habs is they control their own destiny, because with at least 1 point in tonight's game, they'll clinch. But the bad news is they'll have to do it against a team they've had a ton of struggles with, the Carolina Hurricanes. As they've only beaten the Canes, get this, once in the past 4 seasons. That sounds fake, but it's probably real. And if Montreal can't pick up a point tonight, they still have another shot, as a Columbus loss to the Islanders also puts Montreal in. But the pressure's gotta be on to take care of business tonight. And looking at the FanDuel odds, it's really looking like this is Montreal's to lose, as they're minus 400 to make the playoffs with Columbus at plus 285. Time now for Saucy Sounds presented by Montana's. And it was an emotional moment in Minnesota last night, with the Wild come back and already clinched for the playoffs in their game against Anaheim heading to OT. Goaltender Philip Gustafsson had a great idea. Let Marc-Andre Fleury play overtime and get one final regular season win. And after the game, Fleury was emotional talking to his teammates.
That's good, thank you.
One more time,
I don't know what to say. Thanks guys, appreciate it, that was fun. You guys battled at the end too, got a big one, but I agree with Moose, you know, he speaks very well, most times. I don't know, I love you guys, I want to play with you guys for a long time, you know, and just keep it going, you know, make this thing go as long as you can. Not for me, right? Obviously, I will be part of it, but you never know when's the next chance in the playoff. Next time you can, you know, go have a few wins, go past the first round, when you can get to the cup, right? So obviously it starts with game 1, but happy to be here with you guys, and let's make it last, boys.
Woo! Yeah.
He's got to be like the most beloved player in hockey history. Like, of my generation at least. Like, watching hockey, I don't think there's anyone that's ever said a bad thing about Fleury, and like, how could you ever say a bad thing about Fleury? It's a huge day here in Canada as the inaugural season of the Northern Super League begins tonight. We had a chance to catch up with some of the stars of the NSL and ask them to give a message to their younger self about this iconic day.
A message to my younger self would be, okay, this is an easy one.
Keep going and have fun.
It's not life or death, it's just soccer, and you will get there in the end.
You were right. You can be a professional soccer player. You can be a mom. You can have friends. You can like makeup, doing your hair, all still while being a footballer.
If I could go back, I think there's beauty in self-compassion. It's not the mistake, it's how you speak to yourself afterward that matters. And research shows that if you are kinder and more loving to yourself when you make a mistake, you're gonna get up faster and try again. I'm on a journey, and self-love has gotta be the #1 most important thing for any person, not just athlete.
You're gonna get to play in a stadium in your hometown one day.
I think we've made it. I think that was the goal since the beginning. So I think just all this effort has been for something, like we've reached a level.
People say like everything matters, just do what you're supposed to do, but honestly, like in reality, nothing matters. So don't dwell on things.
This moment is a long time coming, hearing Diana Matheson, Christine Sinclair talk about it yesterday, and seeing already what this has meant to not only the players, but former players and Canadians alike. I think this is just an incredible day, not only for soccer in Canada, but another amazing step for women's sports, and I can't wait to tune in and watch. And you can tune in and watch tonight on TSN. It's Vancouver and Calgary. Coverage begins at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. To the association, the play-in continues tonight on TSN. In the other games last night, we got skunked on the early one, but we had a banger with the Warriors-Grizzlies game. And we're hoping for a couple more good games tonight, with the Heat and Bulls in the Eastern Conference and Mavs and Kings out west. But let's focus on that Heat-Bulls game. We've got two teams moving in different directions. For the Bulls, they're actually one of the best teams in basketball over the last 20 games. That 15-5 record is 5th best in the NBA, and they're scoring 122 a game, which is good for 3rd in the association in that stretch. While the Heat have been a little different. Since March 1st, they're 9-15, and that was a very up and down stretch, including a 10-game losing streak, followed by a 6-game winning streak. So we don't really know what to think of Miami. A big part of this Bulls resurgence has been the stellar play of Josh Giddey, who's having a great season, but he's been especially hot February on, as he's averaging 20 a game and pretty close to a triple-double. But the big thing is those shooting percentages. Remember last year in the playoffs? People were leaving him alone on the perimeter, and he's now shooting 45.1% from 3 during this stretch. The Bulls are 1-point favorites tonight at home against Miami. The total set at 219.5. You can watch the Heat and Bulls tonight on TSN. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. That's all for today. Jesse's filling in tomorrow. Have a great day.